Hello everyone, welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 11 of the Road to 1000 Beavers. And right in front of us you can see the remains from the last episode. We completely got rid of the mountain over here, and once we removed all of the platforms, you can see there's a lot of planks that are left. But we don't currently have enough storage to store all the planks, so in today's episode we're going to go ahead and try and get all of those storages set up. But one of the first things we're going to do is get some zip lines set up over here. That way we can make it a little bit easier for the bots and beavers to actually make their way over here. And then right off the bat we can go ahead and get some of these large underground piles set up. We'll probably want to fit one right around here in the future, so let's go ahead and put two right here. And then once they construct all of these, they can go ahead and start putting some of these planks in here. For now we'll go ahead and make some of these set to planks. And then we'll have some of these other ones set to some more common materials. And it looks like the beavers and bots have been working on getting some of these dirt blocks placed over here. And so that's going to allow us to expand our potato farm over in this direction. But first let's go ahead and get a few beehives set up over here. And then as they work on constructing these beehives, we can also go ahead and get some more crops planted, specifically potatoes. Because as you saw in the last episode, we experienced a bit of a potato shortage, and then that led to a biofuel shortage, and so we had almost all the bots who were not able to actually work. And then we were going to work on getting some more houses set up in the last episode, but I don't think we actually ended up doing that. We got a little distracted by the mountain that we were removing. So in today's episode, we're going to go ahead and focus on that as well. Since we are hovering around 230 beavers, and I want to start creeping towards 300 in this episode. We will not be including bots in the total. The bots are very helpful, but I don't consider them beavers exactly, even if they may look like beavers. And then you can also see that we have a fair amount of gravity batteries that are set up. And then you can also see we've been placing down some dynamite over here, although I don't think they can actually reach some of these buildings. So if we want to set these up, we'll have to make sure we get a bridge set up over here. And then we'll start with some on the backside first. And I saw we had several comments on what we want to name the second district. My favorite one was the Beaverland Hills, since we have a couple hills over here, and we're going to go ahead and incorporate these two hills into the second district. We're doing a little bit of shaping over here. We're going to go ahead and get some more houses set up in this area, since they will have a nice view of the colony over here. As you can see, we are on day 4 of cycle 16, and the bad water is still flowing through here. The water hasn't quite pushed all of it out yet. You can see a lot of it is actually going through the overflow here. But I think we'll need to raise this contamination threshold just a little bit. Let's go ahead and try 4 for now. And we have already maxed out on planks over here, so we'll go ahead and get another couple storages set up. And as we continue to set up storages, we can go ahead and start removing some of these ones over here. And we have also been working on getting some water reels set up over here, or at least getting the foundation so we can get some more set up. We will want to expand this going in this direction, which means we'll probably want to build up the bank over here a little bit as well. And as I was just about to place down these water wheels, I do remember that there was an update recently, and so they updated the power shafts to be similar to the tubes. So now you can place down a basic power shaft for 1 wood, and then the solid power shafts, which can be constructed on top of each other. Those will cost just a little bit more. But the nice part is that they all auto-connect, so you don't need to worry about actually setting up different styles of these power shafts. And so we just connected up all of these zip lines over here. We added in an additional pylon, so now they can all reach each other. Will this one actually be used? I'm not sure. But now they at least have the option to go over here. So I'm actually seeing that the dynamite right here wasn't placed down, since it looks like the zip line actually goes right over it. So temporarily we're going to go ahead and remove these. And so we'll have these last pieces of dynamite placed down, and then we'll go ahead and detonate them. And then we can reconnect these zip lines. In fact, we're actually going to go ahead and lower these just a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead and place the houses inside of here, since we'll be utilizing the double and triple lodges. And then I do want to work on getting a farm set up over here. I don't think they actually have dirt in this district, so let's go ahead and get a pile set up over here. Oh wow, we have a lot of unemployed bots. Let's go ahead and send a few more to this district. And it looks like we actually have 21,000 science, so we can go ahead and put a couple bots in the refinery over here. And it looks like this guy over here is sitting around, even though we have a lot of pine resin that is available to be collected. Let's go ahead and get some storage set up for him. Although it's maple syrup stored in here, we do not need this. So since we want to get some warehouses set up, I think we should look at getting this district reorganized a little bit. We have some more houses that we're setting up, which is totally fine. but it might be worth moving some of the things from over here over into this area. Storage could be something that we could focus on. Maybe once we lower this right here, we can get some dirt blocks set up over in this area, and then get another storage area set up. And with this district having so much excess power, I think it's worth getting a dirt excavator set up over here. We can go ahead and set it up right here. It's not too close to the bad water stream, so there isn't going to be any excess bad water that fills up the hole and basically permanently damages the area around it. We could put up irrigation barriers if we did that, but no need to do that. And so we'll go ahead and get some stairs set up, and then we can also get a power shaft set up as well. Looks like overall we have some unemployed bots and beavers, and we have some vacant beds, so let's go ahead and get some more beavers sent to this district. And then we have to get some builder's huts set up over here since we want to work on a lot of stuff. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make this right here Builder's Hill. So we're going to construct it in the way that we can in order to fit the most builder's huts over here. And so we have a few builder's huts set up over here. Plus we have a couple hauling posts. Since I don't actually think we have a hauling post in this district, and with all the new beavers that we're going to be getting, it'll be perfect to get them in some of these jobs over here. And as we have one piece of dynamite left that we need to construct, we can go ahead and look at getting some of the storages set up over here. And so we have the groundwork set up for some of the storages over here. Plus we have a lot of dirt blocks to place down. But first we're going to work on constructing these over here. And then we can have some of these unemployed bots and beavers hop into those jobs. And we are completely maxed out on planks on this district. So we'll go ahead and set the fourth of the underground piles set to planks. And we don't even have any of the lumber mills over here that are working. But it does look like we finished collecting all the planks that were strewn about over here. And we are starting to have some sunflowers that are growing up. Looks like we are not maxed out, but I guess we just don't have enough beavers working over here in order to harvest all this food. We can also go ahead and start getting some storages set up. Although I think we should utilize the space underneath these here. So let's start placing some dynamite down. Now the real question is, how low do I need to go below these piles before we can start placing some tunnels? So I want to place a lot of these tunnels down, especially going vertically since we have these ones that they're placing right here. But I want to keep going below so that we can get some of the large warehouses set up. But what I don't want to do is install all those and then find out when I want to remove the platforms in order to put the warehouses in, that will actually end up removing these. So we're going to start small scale. Once they've placed down all the tunnels over here, we'll go ahead and try it right over in this one. So we'll limit it to only one pile that could potentially be removed, and it's not even holding anything, so it's not essential at the moment. It looks like we have the first set of houses set up over here. Let's go ahead and get some fun stuff set up as well. It's always an easy decision to get some rooftop terraces placed down, and it looks like they just finished setting up the dirt excavator. Let's go ahead and switch this to bots right off the bat, although we're actually missing some bots in this district. So let's go ahead and transfer some more over here. And then I actually never ended up renaming this. We'll go ahead and set this to Beaverland Hills. And taking a look at Workers Hill, it looks like they've made some good progress. Now they actually have some dirt that is being produced in this district that should help this go a little bit faster. And I noticed that we have a bot sitting around over here. In fact, we have two since we are maxed out on explosives in this district. But we don't need to worry about that. Let's go ahead and get some storages set up over here, because you never know when you'll need some more explosives. And then we can finally get some pine resin storage set up as well. We can probably get a zip line set up in this area, since the beavers and bots that work here do need to end up getting over here day to day. And it looks like we actually stranded a beaver over here. So we'll go ahead and temporarily remove these wooden stairs. And we'll just let them finish constructing all this stuff first. Then we can go ahead and add the stairs in last. And it looks like they finished placing all the tunneling over here. So now we can add some more below, and we'll have them work on that. And then slowly start making our way down. And so now we've made it 3 levels deep. I think we should be able to remove all of these. But we'll go ahead and see what happens. So far it's all looking good. In fact, I might have actually gone 1 too low. We could probably get away with it with this going 1 higher. So let's go ahead and work on placing some dirt blocks back. We can also start placing down some large storage tanks over here. Thankfully, we are almost done getting the zipline station set up. And actually, I guess we don't even really need stairs to go over here then, since now it's actually all connected in. But also, let's make sure we assign all this to lowest priority. Getting all of these dirt blocks set up is not essential. And now we can once again try and place another storage down. The entrance is blocked over here, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and remove another of these couple dirt blocks and get some stairs placed down. And so I think this whole setup should work since we're only going to be overhanging 4 tiles in total. If we made this really wide, so if we had basically one set of large warehouses over here, a path over in the middle, and then another set on this side, I don't think we'd be able to actually put stuff on top of here. Specifically, I think some of this would like basically cave in. But since we're just going to stick to one set of these warehouses underneath here, I think that should be fine. And it looks like we do have a drought approaching. I must have missed when that happened. But as you can see, the water has stopped flowing now. And now we're going to be experiencing a little bit of a power shortage. 6 days long. We do have the windmills over here, plus we have these gravity batteries. But in the past, they have not lasted that long. The Beaverland Hills folks, I think, will be in a little bit of a better spot since they have so many gravity batteries. Plus, they have these 2 channels that are pretty dang deep. And it looks like we're actually at the bottom of the map, so we can't go any lower now. We can go ahead and get a fluid dump set up over here. And then that should irrigate this whole area. But if we're going to irrigate this, we want to make sure we can plant some crops down. We could plant them in the bowl, or we could just raise this whole thing up, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards at the moment. And so this will be the last episode released before the mega build, which will be coming out this Sunday. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss it when the video is released. And these mega builds take quite a bit of time to plan and record and edit. And so I would greatly appreciate every one of you guys who go ahead and watch it, to make sure you like it, and then if you can, share it with a friend. And I already have some ideas for some future mega builds, and so sometime down the road I can go ahead and work on those as well. Looks like we have some of the houses and the fun stuff that is set up over here. The beavers are riding pretty dang low. We'll go ahead and get a few campfires set up over here. And it seems like we have so many things that we want to go ahead and place in this large warehouse. I may have mentioned that I want something in particular placed in here, but I cannot remember. So for now, we'll get some paper placed in here. Even after setting up all of these different builders huts and these hauling posts, we still have 10 unemployed beavers in this district. So we can go ahead and squeeze in a few more builders huts over here. And we have also set up a lot of dirt blocks over here. This is also low on the priority list since it's not super essential. But once they place all the dirt blocks down, they can go ahead and get some trees planted on top of here. And we're actually doing pretty dang good on wood. We have 1.8 thousand in this district. Just kidding, 720 in this district, 1.8 thousand in total. But as we've seen in the one pod challenge, the amount of wood that we have stored up can turn pretty quickly, especially when we have mega projects such as this. And I know that this is not going to be the only mega project in this series. And let's take a look at the gravity batteries. It looks like they've actually been going down quite a bit. These are about 2/3 depleted, so hopefully we can go ahead and get some more of these constructed soon. And we still have a lot of unemployed bots, and I'm pretty sure most of them are in this first district. Let's go ahead and look at the district center and then see what jobs we have. So in the district of Beavaria, let's see how many builder huts we have. We have 12. So we clearly don't need to get any more builder huts. It looks like we are running a little bit low on gears in this district. And so it looks like we're actually maxed out on explosives in this district since we have a couple bots who are sitting around. We have 220, but let's go ahead and get some more storage set up for them. And the beavers did manage to tunnel all the way under here, so we can go ahead and remove these. And then we'll get a bucket of planks back. And then let's start setting up some warehouses. And I'm also realizing that I think that this would actually be totally fine to expand these warehouses as far as we want, since the dirt blocks are just on top of these. So the dirt blocks aren't actually overhanging, technically speaking. We can set this first warehouse to explosives, and then we can get some pine resin in the other one. So we have a bucket of food over here. I don't think we have enough beavers to collect all the food. But what we can do is get some of the bots in these jobs, and then also add in some more farmhouses. And we have completely run out of power in this district. Looks like these gravity batteries did not hold as much power as I thought they would. But we are in the process of expanding our gravity batteries. And I suspect that dirt is going to be one of the limiting factors coming up soon, since we have so many dirt blocks that we want to place down. So we'll probably need to get another dirt excavator set up shortly. And it looks like we actually have a little bit of bad water collecting in the bottom part here. So I think it's worth getting a bad water pump set up, even though it probably won't collect a whole lot of bad water, but we want to make this a little bit cleaner. Let's also go ahead and switch a couple of these jobs to bots, since we want to make sure we have enough water in this district. We actually don't have a whole lot. It looks like the windmills over here are serving their purpose. They're keeping these gravity batteries relatively charged up, especially considering the drought is ending in 0.1 days. So the beavers of Beavaria have had power this whole time. while the Beaverland Hills folks have been high and dry. But thankfully the drought is over, so the water will be returning here in just a little bit. And so we're going to continue to plant some more potatoes over here. We can replace these sunflowers with potatoes once they eventually grow up and get picked. And looks like we are maxed out on sunflowers. Oh, we can only hold 200. Let's go ahead and fix that. We can go ahead and set up some other large warehouses. We'll continue to go in this direction first, and then we can preemptively go in this direction as well. We are partway through day 2, and it looks like there is some water flowing into here. And there's also some bad water that got into this area. Not loving that. Let's go ahead and get a bad water pump set up over here as well. And we actually don't have a whole lot of food. We have 2.3 thousand, but it's all cattail crackers, and then the second most abundant is the grilled potatoes. But we're basically out of everything else other than sunflowers. Let's go ahead and set up some islands over here, and then we can go ahead and place some crops on top. And actually, instead of bridges, we can place some platforms down, and that way we can go ahead and maximize space with the farmhouses. We actually do have a fair amount of dirt in this district. We have about 900. But in Beaverland Hills, we are pretty low. We only have 19. We can go ahead and get a second one placed down right here, even though I'm pretty sure that they might have placed down some dirt blocks right here. Since we have some bots sitting around, let's go ahead and make this over here a little bit easier to construct. We just have to go ahead and reconnect this path back in, and then as soon as they construct some of these stairs and they're making their way down, then they should be able to reach all of this. And I'm only slightly concerned that the beavers and bots are going to trap themselves. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but if it does, we know how to fix it. And we have our first stranded beaver. They are flying through the dirt stores. So let's get another dirt excavator set up. And then it does look like we're doing good on biofuel, but I'm not actually seeing any catalyst anywhere. Looks like we don't actually have enough maple syrup at the moment. But while we can't get any more maple syrup, what we can do is get something else that's good for the bots. And that'll be punch cards. So we can make that through the printing press. And so we can go ahead and get 2 of those set up over here. And then we can unlock this for 1,000 science. And having the bots in here will be very helpful. Now we are also short on gear, so let's see if we can fit a couple gear workshops under here. But since these aren't directly connected, we'll have to make sure we get some power shafts set up. And it looks like we also have the second dirt excavator that's up and running now. Oh, and they made all of these platforms over here quite a while ago. They finished tunneling it out, but I just completely forgot about it. 540 planks will be retrieved from this, and then an additional 180. And there are quite a few foods that we don't have at the moment. The grilled chestnuts and the maple pastries are 2 of them. And both of these require a bit of an investment since it takes some trees to get the foods from there. And we have increased our population quite a bit. We're up to 273 beavers, but our food is not going up that much, so let's go ahead and make sure we get some more green space set up. And back in Beaverland Hills, they literally just finished constructing the second dirt excavator, and we are a little bit short on bot jobs in this district, so we can go ahead and bump this up to 45. And we keep trapping some beavers, and it might have been a mistake to have the bots work in this, since we're getting a lot of them trapped over here. Although now that I think about it, we don't actually need to have all of this be filled with dirt. We can actually remove a fair amount of the levels over here, and then they'll still be able to construct all the dirt on top. And we are actually not maxed out on water now. I know we did add some more water storage recently. But one thing we can do is go ahead and switch one of these jobs to bots. Although actually let's go ahead and switch this back and then just add in another set of beaver jobs. Since we have a fair amount of beavers who are unemployed, and we actually have some bot jobs that are vacant. And that is where we're going to wrap up today's episode. And we're in kind of a weird spot where we have a lot of some resources and a little bit of others. And then we have, seems like 1,000 workers, mainly in builders' huts, but we can probably go ahead and shuffle some of those into other jobs. But big picture, I do think green space is something that we need to focus on, especially with food not being as abundant as I would like. We're hovering around 2.1 thousand, but I want that number to go up, especially with all the storages that we've made recently. Thankfully, we do have a fair amount of beehives that are placed down, so that should help. So if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. And tune in this Sunday for the upcoming mega build. And with that, we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.